Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for March 18th to the 25th. I will be doing another recording this week because of course we have the equinox that is happening on the 21st. So I'll be putting out a reading for that as well. So you'll have lots to listen to this week, hopefully not too much. All right, let's get started then, shall we? I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths with me. Pulling yourself into this present moment and grounding yourself. Imagining a tree root coming down into the base of your spine, anchoring you deep into Mother Earth. Knowing that that tree root is not only grounding you here and now, but it is a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for new growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children listening now and in the future. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that we all need to receive right now for this week, March 18th to 25th, for our personal and collective highest and greatest good. I invite my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to facilitate this exchange and ensure that it happens in the highest and best way possible, that I use language that will be easily heard, understood, and integrated for our personal and collective highest and best, and that we cover all that is in our collective heart and mind at this time to our satisfaction in the window that we have together today. I'd also like to invite the Four Archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us across time and space. Wherever you are, know that they are there holding you as well. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming and supporting us and creating this lovely container of light, of love, of wisdom, of beauty, of transformation, of healing, of peace. Whatever it is that is in our collective heart and mind that is highest and best may be seen, acknowledged, and brought to the light. And anything that doesn't match these frequencies is welcome to go now. Okay, let's get on with the reading, shall we? Okay. We have these lovely flowers. Came from the garden. The snowdrops are just about done. There are a few crocuses, but now the Primula Wanda is up. And it's so funny because on screen it looks strange. It looks so purple, very blue, but it's actually this vibrant, warm magenta, which of course I can't show you on the camera because it's not capturing it. It's so interesting how color and light reacts, and pigment, and how that all works with the human eye and the synthetic eye of a camera. Okay, Creator, what is it that we personally and collectively need to know right now? So much energy on this planet, so much upheaval, a lot of emotions. I'm sure a lot of you have been picking up on that. And we're sending love, as always, to anywhere on this planet who is suffering. Wherever you are, our hearts and thoughts are with you in good ways. May good solutions, helpful, happy, healthy, healing, peaceful solutions be found to anyone, for anyone who is suffering anywhere on the planet today. Creator, what do we need to know today? What do we need to know for this week so that we can be at our best and to shine our light brightly and be of service to more love and light on the planet at this time for our personal and collective highest and greatest good? Okay. Recent past, the influence is waning, continues into our present, into our future, and we have the card of love. What a lovely way to start. So the Ace of Hearts. Hearts is the suit of emotion. It's the suit of our feelings. And the love card, being an ace, aces are like the acorns that grow into oak trees. There's that kernel of possibility. And so this tumultuous time that we're finding ourselves in is highlighting for us evermore what is important. Love is important. It's the thing that matters the most. And I think my impression is that most of us are getting this in a different way than we ever have before. We're becoming more deeply aware of the importance of love, and to come from that place of love and to ground all of our actions and our ways of being from that space to the best of our ability. And I believe also that this is the evolution of humanity. This is where we're moving to, is to ground ourselves from this energy at all times, because the energy of the universe is love. It's this incredibly generous, abundant, kind, supportive energy. It's a wonderful, wonderful frequency. And so this is our recent past. This is the energy of the past that we're bringing through this week that is very important and needs to be carried forward, and to be mindful of this as we go through our present and into our future, to hold this frequency of love, to be in our hearts, to be clearings for more of the universal love through you, through me, into life. That's our job. So that we're going to stay mindful of as we go forward here. The present card, another lovely card, the card of success. Again, a heart has to do on the emotional level. So we're really being called to pull ourselves into a space of well-being, appreciation, joy, if we can, love, kindness, well-being, gathering with others and holding a lovely frequency of community, of mutual respect and appreciation and well-being, of caring for each other and amplifying our energies by gathering in intentional ways. So this is the energy of our present, this energy of success. I love this idea that we are succeeding. Those of us who are holding light and love on the planet, who are being very intentional and disciplined about this, we are succeeding in our endeavor to bring more beauty and love and light to the planet at this time, to be channels for that it is in service to more love and light. It's innate. It's who we are. And that by going with that energy, rather than falling into fear and resistance and doubt and becoming small, we're actually amplifying this good energy for everyone. A wonderful future for all of us. So that is what I'm going to hold with this idea of this success in our present environment, that our good work, our holding love, our holding that intention of well-being is paying off. It is changing the collective. It is holding a bigger energy and a frequency that is being very supportive right now for us personally and collectively. The next card is the Princess of Pentacles. And pentacles are the earth element. They have to do with material things. And princesses are like pages in other decks. They have that quality of new beginnings, a little bit different, but similar to an ace. But it could be a baby, it could be a new business, it could be a new venture, that's sort of an idea. But some new life, and there's new life on the material level. So this lovely energy of love, of being mindful, of holding good frequency, of wanting to be to be good for everyone on the planet, and praying for peace and praying for love and giving our attention to the good is amplifying the energy that is bringing us to a new beginning on the material level. And we know we're moving in that direction. I mean, that's just the collective momentum on the planet at this time. You know, so many people are speaking of it. We have this incredible momentum that is carrying us forward. And what do we want to create? We know we want to create it from this foundation. That is very, very clear. We don't necessarily need to have all the details worked out, the nitty-gritty, that, so to speak. That will evolve as we get there. But this beautiful vision for the earth, this beautiful vision for us as residents of the earth, the beautiful vision of us as co-residents of this planet with all life that is already here. How do we want it to be? What do we want it to look like? How do we want it to go? What do we want this material new beginning to look like for us? How do we want to interact with the soils and the waters and the air? Because we need to really take responsibility as residents. We've been like children messing up our playground, you know, just destroying things, messing things up, not being very intentional or thoughtful or reasonable about our actions, not considering 7 generations hence, which is what the beautiful teachings of so many of those who've come before have held for us, that we can turn to now and reclaim our role as caretakers, of stewards, not as dominant bullies who just take what they want without consideration of those who are already there and those who will come. So again, this idea of what do we want to create? And how will that look in our lives? If we choose to live differently, it will mean that things are going to change very, very much for us. There'll be no more going back to these ideas of again, the raping and pillaging of the civilized nations for the benefit of the few. We really have to rethink about how we're doing everything. You know, what are you buying? Why are you buying it? What's its end of life going to look like? These are all things that we need to start thinking about in a really powerful way so that we can change our dynamic and our relationship with life. I think you get the picture. But that energy of coming from love, love for this planet, love for ourselves, love for each other, love for all life. How are we going to express that in the world, in our choices, in our new material beginning personally? What is that going to look like? Because that is how it's going to spill over into the collective. We have to start with us. All change starts with us, within us. We have to be the change that we've been looking for. That's where it goes from there, outward, from us, from the inside out. Okay, the foundation card, why we're having the reading this week. It's this energy of opportunity. Another really, really nice card. This is wands. It's the creativity, inspiration, passion aspect of it. This is what lights us up, what brings us to more joy, what is activating that generative life force, the Kundalini force within each of us. What is our opportunity? What is it that we have to give? 3 is the number of multiplication. This idea of bringing more into life, but in a way that is inspiring and enlivening and generative and respectful and beautiful and harmonious with all life. We can do it. I know it's going to be challenging, but we are up for it. Humanity is incredibly resilient. There is a beauty and a resourcefulness and a capability that we have when we get out of our fear, lack, and small perspective and rise instead into our expanded kindness, loving, generous natures, because that is the energy of the universe. It's where we come from. It's where what we really are authentically at our hearts. There are narratives of scarcity and lack and not enough that run in our culture, but they're not who we are. It isn't innate to the human species. We've been conditioned to be that way. And so part of what we're rising from, what we're rising to, is this energy of magnanimous generosity and abundance and flow and appropriate giving, appropriate generosity. I'm not talking about depleting yourself to the point where there's nothing left, but giving in ways that are appropriate to you, from your gifts, from your energy, your enthusiasm, your inspiration. It's brilliant when we can tap into that, because that is endless. That source energy inside of us is endless. And so as we give from that space, we are renewed and rejuvenated, and our capacity to give is expanded, and all who come in contact with it are expanded. It's just a beautiful cycle of appropriate expansion and co-creation and enlivenment. And so our opportunity card is the foundation for this week. We have tremendous opportunity before us. What will we do with it? What will we choose? Who will we be? How will we live our lives in a different way so that we are respectful and honoring of all life, including our own? So some very, very positive and affirming cards this week. The opportunity is always there. Will we listen to our hearts? Will we come to life from the inside out, allowing the fountain of life that bubbles up within us to spill out from us and into the world beautifully and abundantly and generously? So I think those are probably pretty clear. Let's pull our card to Groen. Creator, thank you for these lovely cards that are so inspiring to us, as we could all use some inspiration. It feels sometimes like things are just going from bad to worse, but I do believe that this is our opportunity as humanity, as these contrasts keep coming up and pushing us. We're learning more and more what's important. We're learning more that it's from love that we need to be operating from. And there are those who still don't get it. They will eventually. There are enough of us who are starting to hold it. If there's a critical mass, there's a very small percentage of the population that is needed to shift the collective. So just know that as you live your good life, as you live in a space of more peace and more kindness and more resilience and well-being, that you're adding your good energy to the collective field. And the more intentional and loving and kind you are, And the more you honor yourself and your truth and your love and your light, and you give it room and you express it, you're adding to the goodness. You're adding to the expansion of humanity. You're adding to this glorious future that we're all reaching for. And we don't know what it's going to look like. We're kind of between stories right now. We don't have a new plot yet. We have some ideas. We have some threads that we want to run it through that plot. And that's what we need to give our attention to. What would be beautiful? What would be inspiring? What kind of world would you love to live in? I'd love to live in a world of clean waters with oceans full of life, where you can go snorkeling and see all those beautiful sea creatures and co-create with them in the sense of appreciating their world and their beauty and honoring them. And I'd love to see clean air and wonderful alternative energy sources that allow us to move around and be together and appreciate the beauty of this planet, but in respectful, honoring ways that are not harmful or damaging. And I would love to see farming practices that bless and celebrate and honor the earth and take good care of her and give back as much as we are harvesting and collecting food and feeding ourselves, in turn feeding the soil and feeding the land and the microorganisms and all life that's there. To be very intentional and conscious about that as we do our lives. And I'd love to see people happy and thriving and given the room to make the choices they need to make and the resources they need to become all that they're here to become and to share all the gifts that they're here to share. These are some of the pictures that I hold in my heart when I think about the world I want to live into. Everyone living in beautiful places with enough. Not excess, but enough, where we're all taken care of. And we all have a chance to stand tall and proud and shine our light beautifully into the world, sharing our gifts abundantly, knowing that we're taken care of. And so we can take care of others. And it just comes easily, and we're able to flow from that magnificent state. So that's the dream that I hold. I would love to know what yours is. You can maybe put it in the comments below. All right. So from that lovely imagining, what is our card to grow on this week, Creator? What is it that we need to carry forward with us this week? What awareness is, what distinctions, what will empower us to be all that we can be and be our best? Prince of Hearts, more hearts. I think it was Valentine's Day. Okay, so we have this prince, and princes in my decks are knights in other decks, and knights usually mean things changing quickly. And in this case, they're going to change on the level of the heart. We have this lovely, lovely prince. He's riding around waving his heart to anybody who will pay attention. He's out there to share his heart, to share his love, to share his appreciation and his joy. This is the energy of our card to grow on. It's time for us to be in that state of love, to move around in the world from that place, to share it with others. There's somebody on where I live who's been crocheting little red hearts and leaving them in fun spots to be discovered. And it's just this reminder when I see these little red hearts to come back to the love, to come back to that space of appreciation and beauty and love for each other. And it's not easy. I know it's not easy, especially when we're pitted against each other in our narratives and our media and our news. It just fills us with fear and despair and hate and heaviness and smallness, and it makes us contract, and we can't be the expanded light beings that we are when we contract into those feelings. It's when we breathe deeply and well, and we fill ourselves with love and appreciation and open ourselves to the beauty that surrounds us. That's when we expand as light beings in human form. That's how we open our field up, and we can connect with others from that really lofty, high, beautiful space. So if you haven't already, maybe put yourself on a bit of a diet. You can't worry enough to change anything in the world. You can't worry enough to change anything in anyone else's experience. We can only be practical and live our best life and offer our best to the world. And that's how we will change things. And that's what this is about, living from that space of love, living it, holding it, being it, breathing it, carrying it into the world as we circulate and be in the dynamic of life, be that clearing for light and love and beauty and wisdom and care, all of those good things. We all have it within ourselves. And what you feel called to participate in, do it with your heart. Do it with your whole heart. And lovely ideas going around of things that people are doing to support those suffering in the Ukraine and around the world. And if you feel called to, add your love to that, add your life to that. Let's just make the world more beautiful. Let's do that. We can. That's what this is about. That's our card to grow on this week. Add to the beauty, add to the love, add to the appreciation and all the good things that are out there. And our life will begin to move in loving, kind, appreciative, beautiful ways. It starts with us. What you're putting in your body, coming back to the media, the legacy media, what you put into your body is what you're going to put out. The state that you exist in is how you're going to be. So be very deliberate. When I talk about a diet, I mean it. Be very deliberate about how you are nourishing your spirit, how you are nourishing your body, how you are nourishing your mind, how you are nourishing your heart. Realize that you are the one in control of that. And that's part of us taking responsibility and growing up, is saying enough. This does not serve my best. This does not serve my light, my heart, my well-being. And so I'm putting this aside for now. And I'm going to focus on building more light and love on the planet. You can tell I have no opinion on the matter. Okay. Well, that's a very strong message that's coming through. This idea of self-responsibility and being disciplined about the container that we are co-creating for ourselves in this world. We are creating our dance with life. We get to set the tempo. We get to set the pace. We get to do all of these things. And if we are not rising and doing that for ourselves, then we're letting others do it for us. And that's where we fall into holes and get into problems and become contracted and less than we can be. Okay, lecture's at an end for this week, at any rate, until I'm back for the equinox reading. I want to thank you for being here. Creator, thank you for this opportunity to be of service. Thank you for this opportunity to do this reading. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, for being the light that you are in your world. I want to thank you for taking responsibility for yourself, for your choices, for your thoughts, for your actions, for what you're putting into yourself, as well as what you're putting out. I want to thank you for your mindfulness and consciousness. We're all getting there together. I don't know anybody who has it all figured out, but we're getting there together. We are making ways forward. And one little bit of progress on my part is a little bit of progress for you too. And your progress is part of my progress. And we're all building a better world together. We just need to remember that whenever we feel a little bit downhearted. And it's easy to do these days. Don't worry. We've got this. This is why we're here. The contrast is mighty so that we get very clear about what we're here to do and why we want to do it. And to let our hearts crack open into more beauty and light and love and appreciation and dreaming this future, this collective magnificent future. So with that, thank you for being here. If this video has been helpful to you, please consider sharing it with others. Please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next week and at the equinox reading, which I will be doing in a few days. Lots of love and light. Take good care. Be in the light. Be the love. We'll see you soon.